Okay, this is going to be a quick solo play video on how to play Desolate. This is the box that it comes in. Let's take a look what's inside. You're going to have some cards, which is what drives the game, and then we have some components, including 6 dice and some trackers for different stats that you have in the game. Dice will be used for combat, and then you have these cool little space cubes that are represent power cells that you need to acquire in order to escape the space station that you're trapped in. So let's take a look at what you have for cards. You have 7 item cards. You have 2 cards that actually make up your tracker for your health, your ammo, and your oxygen. So first thing you're going to do is put those together. It forms kind of a moon shape. You start with full health at 14, you start with ammo at 7, and you start with oxygen at 4. You're going to shuffle up the item cards. There's all different types of items. We'll go kind of quickly show you different ones. You have space armor that give you more health to start the game out and more capacity. This chameleon allows you to disappear and avoid a conflict. This extended magazine allows you to have more ammunition. The larger tank allows you to have more oxygen. The plasma mine allows you to do a whole bunch of damage, but at the cost of doing yourself a little bit of damage. You have the vision helm that allows you to see a few of the cards and make a decision of which card you want to actually resolve. We'll get into that in a few minutes. And you have the rifle scope that allows you to add damage to your attack rolls. So what you can do is shuffle up these cards. You're going to draw 3. You're going to pick any 2 that you want. I will go with the, just for fun, the plasma mine and the rifle scope. And then you put the other one away, and those are out of the game for the rest of this round. Another way you can play the game is by drawing 2 and only picking 1 item if you want to do like a more difficult round of the game. Or you can play with absolutely no items if you want to go like insane mode. So those will go off to the side. You don't need those for the rest of the game. Place these cubes over here for the power cells. Place your dice off to the side. Now you have 2 more decks. You have your conflict deck. We'll go over that in a minute. And you have your exploration deck. You're going to shuffle both of them, and you're ready to play. So that's basically the setup for the game. I'm just going to go over a couple of little basic rules for the game so you have an understanding of how it plays. There'll be an actual full playthrough video that'll be on this page as well, so you can look at that and see an actual game played from beginning to end. But just a couple examples of cards. You have the cryopod that allows you to exchange 1 oxygen for 3 health. This is changed in the final edition. You have a lot of conflict cards. That means you're going to get into a fight with an alien. Obviously, you need to shuffle this a little better. You have armory that gives you more ammo, different things like that. Engineering, there's 2 engineering cards in the deck. That's what gets you your power cells. Any different rooms that give you different resources that you need to have to survive. So you'll shuffle this up really good, and that'll be placed face down for a draw pile. You'll also have the same thing with your conflict pile. Shuffle that really good. And what's on the back of these is the power of your opponent, which is 4 in this case. And then you combine that with the power from one of the alien cards that you draw to get the total health. So every time you fight an enemy, it's going to be a little bit different how much power it has. So we'll go over that really quickly. How the game plays is the first thing you're going to do is draw 2 cards, keep them face down. You're going to choose one, place it face up. You're going to decide whether you want to explore that room or resolve that card, or go to the other card. If you choose this card, you place this card face down without looking at it, creating a discard pile. However, if you want to go to this room instead for some reason, you would discard this card, place that face down, and then reveal this card. Okay, now in this case, I got kind of lucky. I drew a good card here, so I would get more oxygen. But I'm at full oxygen right now, so this actually wouldn't do me any good. Next 2 cards, reveal 1, engineering. Obviously I'm going to take that, that's going to give me one of my power cells. Once you get all 5 of these, the game ends and I win, so it's a pretty good start to the game. Draw 2 more really quick, just to give you an example. I want to show you a conflict. So let's say that I had to take this conflict. See what the other card is. Okay, let's say for instance I don't want this conflict because I don't want it. You're trying to avoid conflicts, obviously. So I would discard this one. I'd be forced to take whatever the other card is. It's another conflict. So now I have to go into a conflict. So how this works is I draw another conflict card, and I would take one of these black dice, place it on 3, And I would place this one corresponding to the power of this card, 1 here. It gives me a total power for this card of 4. The first thing you have to do after you place these dice is take damage. So the alien always attacks first. So he's going to do this amount of damage to me. So that's 2 damage. So I go over to my health tracker, move it down 2, and then I can begin my combat. Now I have to decide how many dice I want to spend in order to defeat this foe. Each ammo that I spend is a dice. So I need to make a kind of a determination. Do I spend just 1 and only get 1 dice to roll, and then you get a 4 or higher? Or do I spend more dice? So that's one of the other tough decisions you have to make in the game. So let's just play it safe here, and I'm just going to spend 2. I get to roll 2 dice. Ooh, I just barely beat him. So that's 4 damage. It meets or exceeds the power of the enemy. So I beat this enemy. I get to place this card over here into a discard pile for the conflict cards, and then I get a reward. The reward for this card is a small crate. So this will give you an example of how crates work. To open a crate, you take the next card in the draw pile, you turn it over, but instead of looking at this reward, you flip it 180 degrees, and you get to choose from one of these 2 because it's a small crate. Had I fought this more difficult enemy here that had 5, he would have given me a large crate. If you get a large crate, you get to get both items on the other card. But in this case, I only had a small crate, so I have to choose one of these 2. Well, I don't need oxygen because I have full oxygen. The 2 ammo would be perfect because I just spent 2 ammo, so that gets me back up to full ammo. So that's the basic essentials of the game, how it works. You'll run through this deck. As soon as you draw the last card from this deck, you're going to reshuffle this, and that ends the round. And whenever you end a round, you lose 2 oxygen. That just shows time that you've spent in this space station. So you'd go down to 2 oxygen. So that means that by the end of the next round, you'd better find some more oxygen or you're going to die. So that's the ways you can die. Either you run out of health from getting in fights with aliens, you run out of oxygen. Running out of ammo is not going to kill you, but it's going to make getting through the game very difficult. And that's basically how you play Desolate. For the full playthrough, watch the other video. Thank you.